It's official, closing techniques no longer work. People are taking longer to open their wallets, so to speak. So, welcome to the channel and let's dive right in to see what no longer works and what actually does. In 2024, the funnel or rather the customer journey has become longer. What I mean is that it takes longer to make a sale. Even today, there are many sales tactics or closing techniques that are very popular, but actually don't work anymore. Today, buyers are more aware. People can educate themselves more. And between 2020 and 2023, a wave of people started selling online, many of whom scammed a lot of people. With the rise of online scams and media scandals surrounding so-called gurus, people have become more distrustful, and rightfully so. Too much false information, too many false hopes. So, what are the things that don't work? 1. Cold calling. To be honest, hasn't worked for many years. Calling people who neither know you nor the company you're selling for is a waste of time. If you're lucky, they won't hang up on you. The chances of making a sale are close to zero. So it's better to avoid it. And 2. Pressuring someone to buy. Cornering them until they feel extremely uncomfortable and end up purchasing. Is a type of selling I dislike. It feels almost predatory and has never been liked by people. In fact, if you notice, people prefer the opposite. A friendly attitude that promotes the product naturally. Almost like a suggestion among friends. And 3. Bombarding a prospect or potential customer with messages and constant phone calls. Doesn't work either. Today you need to build a relationship of trust with your potential buyers. You have to get to know them and earn their trust, which takes time, but ultimately pays off. You should aim for a lasting relationship with your customer. Not just think about the sale you'll make in the coming days. The sales process has become more complex. People want to understand the value of your product and are no longer solely driven by their emotions, especially if your product is high ticket. Whether it's an e-commerce product or a service, the rule is the same. People need to perceive the value of the offer you are making before making a purchase. Nowadays, buyer habits have changed. They want to be informed. So you need to have clear information about your offer on your social media and website. Such as what benefits will they gain from your product or service. You also need to be aware of their needs and desires, so you can adapt your product or service according to these parameters. The buyer journey can be divided in 3 phases. Awareness of the product or service means that potential customers not only realize that your product exists, but also understand that it might be something they need. The second phase is consideration. In this phase, the potential buyer evaluates your offer or product, assessing whether they truly need it and to what extent. Then there is the final phase, the decision phase, where they are ready to purchase the service or product. Now, keep in mind, the social media is filled with people who are already in the decision phase. meaning they need exactly what you offer. Your role in this case will be to use social media as a showcase to demonstrate that your service or product is the right one they are looking for. And now let's get to the spiciest part. How to leverage social media according to these 3 phases. But before we dive in, hit the like button, and if you want to learn more about sales strategies that really work, every Thursday I host a free business lesson live on this channel, and this Thursday I'll be discussing, guess what? Sales strategies. If you want to know more about this week's lesson, you can find the information below in the description. So let's get back to how to utilize the 3 phases on your social media to drive purchases. Pay attention. You have to build a social funnel. Let's start with the first phase, awareness. For this first stage in your social funnel, you need to provide content that guides potential buyers to understand the problem that your product or service solves. But that's not all, because you can also highlight the opportunities it presents. Not just what you offer, but also the value and benefits you provide. In fact, you can include all these types of content. And then, I know it's tough, but you have to try not to be boring. So, if your content is video, and it definitely should be, you need to commit to producing high quality and engaging videos. Avoid being dull. Boredom kills sales. Keep that in mind. The next phase is consideration. Your content should help them explore the options available out there. You can also create content that highlights how the competitor's product is inferior to yours and what advantages your product has in comparison. However, you need to do this the right way. Don't do it aggressively by targeting specific brands or naming names, because then you come off as a jealous hater and won't appear to be the best option. You need to keep always in mind your target. Your target is you want the buyer to trust you and to buy from you. You want the buyer to choose you. And then, the final phase, the decision-making phase. The many are already in, but don't know who to turn to, or which brand or person to choose. For those in this phase, you need to create educational content, meaning you must inform them in detail about your product or service. And another very important thing is that you need to create as much of this content as possible. Yes, it's a lot of work. But building a business and stepping out of invisibility is not exactly a piece of cake. There is not a magical recipe to do everything quickly and easily. Forget about it. And you have to work hard. That's the only way you'll achieve the success you always wanted. By the way, I recommend a video on this topic that you should definitely watch. And don't forget about the lesson on Thursday. Thanks for watching, see you soon!